Welcome to Learn English Fluently Now. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
We're continuing the journey of feeling lost in life. If you've ever felt unsure about your path, this video is for you.
Chapter 10: The Fear of Starting Over. There's a moment that comes in many lives when something ends, sometimes by choice, sometimes by force, and the road ahead disappears. A relationship falls apart. A job ends. A dream no longer fits. And suddenly, you're staring at a blank page, unsure of how to begin again. Starting over sounds brave in theory, but in practice, it's terrifying. Because what we rarely talk about is the grief that comes with letting go. The confusion of rebuilding. The discomfort of not knowing what comes next. We are taught to value stability, to stick with what's familiar, to stay loyal to the paths we've chosen. And so, the idea of starting over feels like failure. Like you've wasted time. Like you're behind again. But that's only one perspective. There's another truth: sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is walk away from what no longer serves you. Starting over doesn't mean you've failed. It means you've outgrown something. It means you're brave enough to seek something better, even if it's unclear what that better is yet. The fear of beginning again is often rooted in the stories we tell ourselves. Stories like, "I should have figured it out by now." "It's too late to change." "I don't want to lose everything I built." But starting over doesn't mean losing everything. It means choosing to carry forward only what's true. The lessons. The resilience. The strength you earned in the previous chapter. And yes, even your doubts, they're part of your evolution too. There's also the fear of judgment. Of what people will think if you quit your job, move to a new place, end a long-term relationship, or change careers. But the people who matter will respect your growth. And the people who don't? They're not the ones living your life. What's scarier than starting over is staying stuck in a life that no longer fits you. A life that makes you smaller. A life that slowly erodes your spirit, even as it checks off the boxes that others applaud. You don't need permission to begin again. You don't need a perfect plan or absolute certainty. You only need a willingness to trust yourself again. To say, "This chapter has ended, and I'm still here. I still get to write what comes next." The truth is, we all start over many times in life. After heartbreak. After failure. After years spent chasing the wrong things. Each beginning may look different, but the process is the same: release, rediscovery, rebuilding. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes grace. You might not know where to go yet. You might not feel ready. But beginnings rarely feel comfortable. That's what makes them powerful. They ask you to grow before you feel ready. And slowly, you will. You'll find your rhythm again. You'll discover new parts of yourself. You'll build something that feels more aligned, more honest, more you. It won't be perfect. But it will be real. And someday, you'll look back and realize that starting over wasn't the end. It was the beginning of your becoming. Chapter 11: Learning to Trust Life Again. When life has disappointed you, again and again, it becomes hard to trust. Hard to believe that things will work out. Hard to believe that pain can lead somewhere meaningful. You begin to expect the worst, brace for impact, and protect yourself from hope. After all, hope has hurt before. But life, at its core, is uncertain. You cannot control everything. You cannot predict every outcome. And you cannot always shield yourself from change, loss, or chaos. What you can do is learn how to meet life with openness again, not because you're naive, but because you're strong enough to risk believing in something more. Learning to trust life again doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It doesn't mean ignoring what went wrong or forcing yourself to be positive. It begins with telling the truth: you were hurt. You felt lost. You expected one thing and got another. And that broke something inside you. Honoring that truth is part of healing. You're not weak for feeling cautious. You're not broken for being afraid. But there comes a time when fear stops protecting you and starts limiting you. A time when your walls no longer keep out pain, they keep out possibility too. The first step back to trust is curiosity. A quiet, gentle asking, what if things could be different? What if not every ending means failure? What if not every risk leads to pain? What if there is something waiting for me beyond this fear? Curiosity doesn't demand answers. It simply makes space for them to arrive. Next comes presence. You cannot trust life if you are always trying to control it. Life unfolds in the now. It speaks in small moments, a conversation that shifts your perspective, a book that moves your heart, a walk that clears your mind. When you slow down and pay attention, you realize life is not against you, it's just asking you to participate, not predict. Trust is built through experience. Little by little. You make one brave decision. You let someone in. You say yes when it's easier to say no. You try again. And maybe it doesn't work out perfectly. But you learn that you're still okay. You survived. You grew. You're wiser now. And with each of those moments, trust returns, not all at once, but steadily. Trusting life also means trusting yourself. Trusting that even if things fall apart, you'll figure it out. Trusting your intuition, your values, your ability to adapt. When you realize you can handle uncertainty, you stop needing to control every detail. That's where peace comes from, not from knowing what will happen, but from knowing that you can meet whatever happens with strength. Yes, life has hurt you. But it has also carried you. It has surprised you. It has given you second chances, even when you didn't ask for them. And it will continue to do so, if you allow it. You are not here to live a life of fear. You are here to live with depth, with meaning, with courage. And that begins with trust. You don't have to trust everything all at once. Start small. Trust that the sun will rise tomorrow. Trust that healing takes time. Trust that your story is still unfolding, and that even now, life is guiding you in ways you may not yet see. You are not abandoned. You are being led. Keep going. Chapter 12: Redefining Success on Your Own Terms. Society often hands us a blueprint for success before we even know what success means to us. Graduate from a good school, get a stable job, buy a house, marry, have children, climb the career ladder, and accumulate wealth. This path is held up as the ultimate goal, the proof that you've made it. But what if that blueprint doesn't fit your life? What if it never did? Feeling lost often comes from living by a definition of success that isn't truly yours. It's borrowed from family expectations, cultural norms, or the glossy highlight reels of others' lives. We chase goals that don't light us up, measure ourselves against achievements that don't fulfill us, and forget to ask the most important question: what does success mean to me? Redefining success is an act of courage. It's stepping off a well-trodden path and daring to create your own. It means breaking free from the scripts you inherited and writing a new story that feels authentic. For some, success might mean freedom, the ability to work on their own terms, travel, or spend more time with loved ones. For others, it's creative fulfillment, making an impact, or living simply with intention. And for many, it's a mix of things that don't fit neatly into a checklist. This process starts with deep self-reflection. It requires you to listen closely to your values, your passions, and your soul's whisperings. What makes you feel alive? What do you want your days to look like? What kind of legacy do you want to leave, no matter how big or small? Redefining success also means learning to let go of external validation. You don't need approval from others to live your truth. The most powerful lives are not those applauded by the crowd, but those quietly built in alignment with personal meaning. This can be uncomfortable. It might mean disappointing people or facing your own doubts. But it's also freeing. When you own your definition, you reclaim your power. You'll start making decisions not out of obligation or fear, but from alignment. You'll learn to say no to what drains you and yes to what feeds your spirit. You'll measure your progress by your own standards, not someone else's timeline. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a journey, a daily choice to live intentionally, to grow, and to be true to yourself. And when you redefine success on your own terms, you give yourself permission to live fully, even when life feels uncertain. You become the author of your story, no longer lost but purposefully navigating your unique path.
To be continued. Subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next.